Ahem. Mic check, 1, 2. Hola, hola, hola. No. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Hello. Good morning. Top of the morning to ya. I tricked ya with the KCD music, didn't I? I gotcha. Why are we jumping in halfway? Oh, I'm tired now. Woke up early. Couldn't sleep. Bad sleep again. Now that I've been up for 4 hours and showered and took my dog out, so I'm tired. My dog's out. Dog's out. Well, I think we have 3 topics I want to talk about today. Pretty quickly, and then I'm going to have a nap. That's my plan. We're going to do... Well, let's just go through it. Let's just do it together. I'll show you. Let's not put it down here, maybe. Yeah, it'll be fine. Bottom right. Let's just look at... This is just the quick scroll of the timeline. This is from our Globe and Mail. I don't know why this is so loud for me. Just... Yes, then I can hear. Yes, there we go. Even then. Oh, that's completely off. Yes. Wee. All right. This is the Globe and Mail headline today. 23 minutes ago. I just looked it up, and obviously the Globe and Mail, you have to fucking pay $1 a week. Just to read some liberal slime propaganda. Opinion from Thomas Homer Dixon. Adam Gordon. And Adam Gordon, why are you guys working together, you little... We need to prepare for the possibility that the US uses military coercion against Canada. What kind of fear-mongering propaganda, worthless garbage is this? Seriously. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh yeah, I have it here. Look at the comments. People who trust the legacy media just pissing on them. They haven't told me yet. Honestly, everybody, the media is not the friend of the people. We'll just say that. Yeah. We're ready. Almost 3/4 of Canadian troops are overweight or obese. This is January 29th last year. I think they're working on that, but fucking hell, man, that is crazy. 3/4 of Canadian troops are overweight or obese. It's because we're not a serious fighting nation. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock, and here's what we want you to think. I like that. Discord. A little clear. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this Canada's top general says, we are ready for war. We're ready to help our allies when we're needed. And this is our army. Look at them. Sure they don't want to be there either. So embarrassing, isn't it? So embarrassing, isn't it? Anyway, I did want to talk about this. Prepare for war for military coercion. Prepare for military coercion from US. There'd be no need. Trump would just say, hey, we're going to do it. And we would say, yes, sir. How high, sir? That's what we do. You think we're going to engage in US? It's like when people talk about him taking Denmark. Greenland. You think Denmark's going to start World War III over Greenland? No, not a chance. Not a chance. It's just going to be, if the US wants it, they'll take it. I'm sure the people, I mean, they might Why not following Ryan Gertson? So weird. They might not be pleased about it, but they're not going to do anything. See, I told you I'm tired now. It's all ready to go. Took my dogs out. Now I'm just ready to go back to bed. This is the other big Freeland. Yeah, the president of a foreign country just appointed a sitting Canadian member of parliament as his financial advisor in an official capacity. Freeland hasn't resigned voluntarily, and the Canadians' mainstream media has not asked for her to step down. Look at this. Just look at this SSRI stare. She looks like a creepy grandma. She looks like a creepy wood elf hag. That's what she looks like. Little gremlin. Named as economic advisor by Ukrainian President Zelensky. I do think where was it? Yes, this is what I wanted to look at. Okay.
You started, I first met you in Ukraine in 1990 when you began those efforts. There were many years, I think, when it seemed it was all useless. Does it say something to you, teach you something about open society, civil society building?
Well, yes, because basically, in
Open society, huh? Yeah, I know where that comes from.
many ways,
Karl Popper.
I set up the foundation in Ukraine in 1990.
You started, I first met you in
1990. Same year he set up his foundation in Ukraine, which is heavily. This is George Soros. Let's just see George Soros, corruption. Soros, Ukraine, corruption. Conspiracy theories, these allegations typically portray Soros through his Open Society Foundation and its Ukrainian arm, the International Renaissance Foundation, as orchestrating corruption, regime changes, or shadowy control. The Maidan Revolution, Euro-Maidan, and U.S.-Ukraine relations. It's funny, anti-corruption initiatives by a corrupt organization. I see what you're doing there, Mr. Soros. I see. You're hiding it right in plain sight, aren't you? Pushing for EU integration. See, this is the thing. I don't think I think this is the issue. You know, this is fine, such as aiding displaced people, documenting war crimes. Like that's good for you, please. That's something that I would $230 million in grants should go to, but pushing for EU integration? Why? Why would George Soros want that? Foundation's role in promoting an open society before and after Ukraine's independence from the Soviet Union. He's obsessed with open society. He's obsessed with this idea of an open society with no borders. And you know why? It's because what globalists want is they want a completely what's the opposite of homogeneous? Just completely a swamp. Just a mix of just people that can never group together. There's nothing that they can rally around with each other, because then the globalists can just control these groups of people way easier, because we're not able to group together. Wow, I'm tired. My brain is working at about 3%. Heterogeneous? Wouldn't be hetero, because that would just be two. Polygenius, polyracial slop. That's what they want. Herds that are easily swayed to go which way the next. diverse funding. Yeah, whatever, Grok. Yeah, there's nothing doing it. Shut up, Grok. Christian, please provide a comprehensive list of everything you've done as MP since your appointment. Money laundering. That's what Christian Freeland is doing. And do you know what's crazy? I didn't really realize how embedded Christian Freeland was with globalism. And it's all these Mark Carney, George Soros, Christian Freeland, Justin Trudeau. They're all part of this WEF foundation. What do they call that? It's the new leaders. What is it called? Forum of Young Global Leaders. Cultivate next-gen leaders under 40. Yeah, 3-year program focusing on global challenges, collaborative leadership, driving positive change in the world. Yeah, so you can make money. That's what they want. To develop leaders committed to improving the world through integrity, collaboration, and bold vision. Yeah. It's basically a 3-year journey with academic models like at Harvard. That's what I was going to say. It's basically the same model that the Ivy League school uses, where they want to recruit a lot of very powerful people. You don't even have to be smart, or you just have to be well connected, so that if you do go onto something, they have control over you. That's basically what it is. The WEF is basically running, I don't know, is it akin to a cult, sort of? I don't know. Form of young global leaders. Oh, so bright. Holy women. Holy fucking women. There is not an ounce of testosterone in this whole forum. These are the people. These are the people that are going to destroy the world. I do want to watch. Sorry, where's that video? Is it here? Yeah, this.
And I think Canadian families are looking really closely at all of their expenses. I personally, as a mother and wife, look carefully at my credit card bill once a month.
No, you don't, you goddamn liar.
And last Sunday, I said to the kids, you're older now, you don't want to watch Disney anymore. Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps. And I think every mother in Canada is doing that right now. And I think Canadian families.
What? Why is the economic advisor, would you advise people to cancel their membership to Disney? I don't even know this retard said this. She has said so much dumb stuff and done so many weird interviews and face movements and stuff. Canadian politicians are a fucking joke. Look at Chrystia Freeland. Let's do it here. Wait, what was this? Freeland is actually an executive director of the WEF. Yeah, Justin Trudeau, WF Young Global Leader. Singh, Young Global Leader. Freeland, executive director, board member. Jolie. Look, there's all of them. Wait. What about Pierre? Oops. Was it Young Leaders, Young Global? Nor has he ever been officially part of it. Five to 10 at most, a handful of individuals. Shell Garner is also an alum. Shell Garner. See, this is why I can't trust the fucking Canadian or the conservatives. This is why I can't trust them. Yeah, Calgary Nosehill. Like, what the fuck? And she's a fucking globalist. I just can't. Dude, this market node. Man, it just runs so deep, doesn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of, you know, these globalists, how far their ties go through. It's insane. I actually like Michelle Garner. That's really annoying. Elbows up is now bend over. Yeah. Person who broke JD Vance's windows at his house. What a complete lunatic. Yes, brother. Preach. Imagine this headline, but a negative symbol next to it. Canada looking to stabilize immigration levels at 500,000 per year in 2000. We are so fucking stupid. 500,000 per year in 2026. What is this CTV that I just saw? CBC News. This is 2022. Do I just search Darren Major? Maybe that would be. Where is this? Where is this? I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna lose my vision here, but I'm gonna find it. Fine. We'll literally just go CBC News. Canada looking to stabilize. McGarshin. Here we go. This is from 2023, though. So it's sort of... So he's sort of taking this per year in 2026. I guess he's not really saying this is new. Far too high. Yeah, like, look at this. It's just crazy, man. Just crazy. Oh, white well-being and white erasure. Oh, white guilt. Oh, it's just crazy, isn't it? I don't know what we're gonna do with this country. What have I just read? What have I just read? Exclusive Marxist migrant groups. Why the fuck are there Marxist migrant groups in my country? Why? What? Why? Expired visas. Facing expired visas call for revolution in Canada. Marxist agitators, temporary migrant groups plotting strikes, protests, including suggesting protests at Doug Ford's home. Holy, I am whited out. I'll sit back here. Crazy. So bright. Really want to sign in. Just want us to be so damn bright. Well, that is some bullshit. Deport, 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 deport. Deport now. Deport all of them right now. Do it. Do it now. Save our country from these Marxist migrant agitators who are planning to do protests in front of our prime minister because they face expired visas. What the fuck are we doing? If I went to India and they said, you have an expired visa, and I said, well, I'm in a protest in the street, they'd fucking shoot me in the head. That's what they would do. They'd say, this guy is a terrorist, and they would just shoot me in the street. They would. Let's be real. They put me in jail for 100 years. It is absolutely crazy the shit that we allow. Yeah. The Canadians are ridiculous. We don't need to use military force against Canada. The Salvation Army could defeat Canada. What are people saying? We would open the door for them. I would. Snow Mexico should join USA and become great again. Yes, brother. Victory is not winning for our party. Victory is winning for our country. Beautiful. Try it. Try it. You think we're gonna burn down the White House? You think we're gonna burn down the White House? This is an insight into the mind of a 40, 50-year-old, you know, what is that? Gen what is that? Not boomer. Gen X. You know, like a Gen X. They just don't quite get it. You know, they're just not gonna get it. This is never gonna happen again. This is a different time, brother. Different time, different century. Too busy with the woke crowd and fear of breaking a fingernail. Yeah, I can't watch this again. She fucking started crying because of racism in the Canadian military. Oh, just honestly, just end it. Just fucking end this socialist shithole gay country. Just end it all. You need to apologize and make it right. What's this?
As the Socialist Party faded from the U.S. political scene, some of the farmers who had embraced its ideals would take their politics north, to Canada.
Gay. Gay. What fucking military assistance can we offer? Our biplane was grounded because the G can't read the manual, and our fleet of canoes is dried off because tariffs have made the gorilla tape plug holes too expensive for the military budget. This is hilarious. Sorry, I don't know if I'm gonna post that. Canadian military is constant battle against coordination and rhythm. Yeah, I think this is training, but like, look how bad this is. I think they're doing, like, I think they're... So you don't have to swing your arms that high. I don't know. This is the Navy. I don't know if they do it a bit different in the Navy, but they are all off timed. It's like they've never worked together before in their life. That guy looks like he's gonna stick up his ass. This guy's got it. This guy's right. These guys are good. Yeah, that line was good. He's off. He's slow. Fucking fat asses. What the fuck? You're not even in line. What the fuck? The fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing here? This prick. What the fuck is he wearing on his head? Ah, we're just an embarrassment, aren't we? Canadian military bases mandate menstruation kits in men's bathroom. I remember this. Donald J. Trump, whatever, Prime Minister, Canadian citizen. Oh. Do, 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 do. Wait, what? I don't even know what you're saying here. We have a bunch of moose, too. You're not wrong. Well, yeah, we're kind of fucked, aren't we? Canada is seriously, we fucked ourselves. Fucked ourselves real bad. Freeland was born in, this is Daniel Tyree, I would say co-leader of Dominion Society. Freeland was born in Canada to an Anglo father and Ukrainian mother. Many such cases. Throughout her parliamentary career, she has demonstrated considerable loyalty to her mother country, including her time as finance minister, where she oversaw more than $10 billion in Canadian taxpayer money she sent to support a war that has nothing to do with Canada. We must expunge dual loyalties from our parliament. Yes. Please. Remigration is normal. Replacement migration is extreme. Why? Oh, I need more coffee. That's what I need. I love this salty Albertan chick. She's so bait. Lefties are losing their shit over Venezuela. Hilarious. Now they're spouting off that if US invades Canada, they will fight tooth and nail to defend Canada. Sure you will. Reality check. Reality check. Most of these low IQ, waste of space, are obese, out of shape, and couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. What are you going to fight with? Tampons, transgenders, and rainbow flags? You would be outmanned, outgunned, and the US would steamroll Canada with a matter of hours. Majority of Canadians would take up arms and stand with the USA when they overthrow our government. Reality is a very hard pill to swallow. Maybe these retards need to choke on it. She just says it. She just says it. Wait, what? Force them to self-deport or serve in our military. Use the ones in the military to conquer foreign lands, then keep them in those lands and use the resources back in the homeland, which will be homogeneous. It's not a bad idea. Put them to work. Send them out on the front line. Indians are so thoroughly disgusting people, yeah. So disgusting and low IQ treat their country as an open dump yard. Wait, what? This is in India? That's fucking disgusting. What the fuck? Why do they do this? That's fucked up. That is fucked up. This Marison, oh my god. Strategist, advocate, liberal, urbanist, proud Canadian, principal. Look at him. This is what's killing Canada. This and liberal white women. No, sorry, that's not what's doing it. That's who's allowing it. Polyev is focused on winning the bots on Twitter. Carney is focused on governing like a grown-up. They have like this idea that they're just like the adults in the room and the conservatives are just like these whiny little kids. What they don't realize is they're not even putting any policy. Yep, there's no policy. They're never talking about Pierre's wrong about policy or whatever he's talking about. They just don't like him. And it's just ad hominem attacks all the time. Crazy. Sure, tell me why Carter's actually doing something for Canadians, not for his own agenda. See, then there's based like how come there's some boomers and Gen Xers that are based? Yeah, if that's true, why do you consistently post about how awful Pierre Poilievre is? You're trying to convince the bots? No, he's trying to convince the sheep. Like, just look at this guy. It's so stupid. They're like, oh, we need to reduce our independence. Let's go more to China. Are you fucking retarded? What do we have in common with China? We don't speak their language. We don't share any heritage, any values. They actually, I think they probably hate us. Why would we diversify from our brothers, our cousins, our families directly linked to the South? Why would we do that for the sake of another culture halfway around the world? Why? It's only liberals that think like this. It's only liberals that think like this. They have USA bad, America Trump derangement syndrome, and it is destroying our country. It is, without a question about it. Without a doubt in my mind. Did he just repost this? Okay, thank God. What is this gay? Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. Pablo Picasso. Shut up, Picasso, you crazy lunatic. Alberta separatists aren't separatists. They're just long to be ruled by Big Daddy America. Ridiculous and stupid comments from Vancouver. Alberta's referendum will be for independence, not to be a colony for a different country. And he says, Texas declared independence from Mexico in 1836. United States annexed Texas in 1845. So 1845, 2026. Is there a difference? I don't know. Also, yes, please. I'm not even gonna lie. Yes, I do. I do. Also, yeah, we bullied Vivek off Twitter. Social media is a trap for politicians. Swearing off Instagram and X where it's too easy to get a distorted sense of the public concerns. Yeah, shut up, Vivek. You whiny little bitch. Jash Shanpreet Singh, 21, allegedly caused an 8-vehicle crash. Fucking deport him. Why are we even having this? This is very bad. Yeah. I saw this. This is another breaking story that is pretty crazy. Mark Carney's Liberals tried to buy a Conservative MP to steal a majority. Tried to buy a Conservative MP. Scott Anderson, MP in Vernon, reveals it all on a Facebook post. Why on a Facebook post? Why would you do this? What kind of boomer gay slop is that? Scott Anderson. Very important for my constituents to know that I, like others, have been approached by the Liberals and asked to cross the floor to join them. pulling out all the stops. The Liberals are pulling out all the stops to lure the Conservative members of Parliament to cross the floor so they can have a majority and subject Canada to more years of economic and social malaise. Simplicity of the mainstream media, they promoted the myth that there is some kind of movement to turf our leader, and because they are afraid of Pierre Poilievre, they prefer a milquetoast conservative leader and not a fighter who stands up and lies to their lies and omissions. This is true. This is the biggest thing I think about what the Liberals are trying to do, and this is why they're smearing Pierre Poilievre so bad, is because what they want and what the Conservative Party has been for many years is they sort of just let the Liberals kind of go along with their social stuff, and they just focus on economic. They're like, oh yeah, whatever, do your gay stuff, trans, whatever. We're not going to really, we don't want to touch that because it's social issues that can be, there's a lot of conflict there, I guess, between groups, a lot of disagreement, conflict. Not really in a lot of the issues, but it feels like that. And so these gay progressive conservatives have always just kind of let the Liberals go with their social platform and do all these social changes and only focus on economics. Pierre is different. He's the first conservative who's actually standing up to both economic and social issues that these Liberal Party have just destroyed our country. What else? Let's just read the highlighted parts. What are you going to try to bribe the next Conservative MP with? What did he get bribed? A cold day in hell before I ever consider breaking my constituents, betraying my constituents. You should probably stop asking, because I'll certainly advertise it every time you try. Better think twice about stealing majority government, you little shit. Those pesky cell phones, people record everything these days. Dominion voting. Dominion systems are used for some provincial and municipal elections in Canada. For example, Ontario and New Brunswick have used Dominion's optical scanning tabulators. Of course, Vancouver does. For Brookfield shares, me too. Yeah, Chris D'Entremont. Do not underestimate the sneakiness. Look at this corrupt little globalist little just look at that weaselly little face, huh? Just that little weasel. The little weasel man. Is he throwing up the Illuminati? Why is he throwing up the Illuminati? Wait. Mail and procedures, most common scams not mentioned. Financial jargon serves to obfuscate real intent. Essentially consists of savings, stealing people's savings. I don't even know what I'm reading here. Some sort of financial shit that is way above my understanding. So, stealing people's savings in 2023. Is he just throwing up Illuminati signals? Is that his inauguration also? I don't think Pierre's coming to save us, man. Don't think it's gonna happen. Don't think it's gonna happen. What did they say about this? I know that everybody hated it because it was gay. What did they say about it? Are they gonna say anything? Wait. Of course, bring your kids there. Yeah, that's good. K-pop demon hunters. Huh. Okay. Not say anything. Alright, well, we're pretty much done with all the news, huh? What is CT? Why is this woman crying on my screen? Carney says Canadian oil will be competitive after Maduro ouster. Prime Minister Mark Carney said his government is working to expand access to oil markets in Asia now that Canada faces the prospect of Venezuelan oil displacing Canadian product in the American market. Yeah, Pierre said immediately approve a pipeline to Pacific Coast. It's saying, I don't know. This is the problem Carney has. The problem Carney has. This is the problem Carney has right now is he's gonna run into an issue where if he goes through this pipeline, he's screwed because all his NDP, woke, green, liberal supporters that he's accumulated for his eco freak agenda, they're all gonna leave. They're all gonna be very upset if he approves this pipeline because it goes against everything they're doing. An LNG and an oil pipeline to the coast against First Nations who are not gonna allow it. He's gonna have to force it. So they're going to freak out a whole nother thing about human rights and First Nation reconciliation and blah, 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 and all this woke bullshit. So he's going to have to deal with that, and he's going to be pissed about that. And if he doesn't do it, you know, he's going to go against everybody, and he's going to get Alberta to separate. It's either Alberta separates, or the Liberal Party is disbanded, and Conservatives take over. That's the only two things that can happen here. Signed the comprehensive MOU with Alberta, so we'd be working towards that. Yeah, you're never going to do that. Can another democracy contend Maduro? Yes. Rapidly rebound to historic levels, putting in direct competition with Canada for American refineries to specialize in heavy crude. The way I understood it is basically US, it's going to take them quite a while, even when they get their own oil into this country. It's going to take them a while to get it all up. Well, I think we're going to watch a video. We'll see that later. You will see what I see. Watch what I watch. Ugh. What? They run a sex store? Oh, why? Okay. This is funny story. Stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. Why do we allow this on our news? Why are we so degenerate that this is part of news? This should just be so embarrassing that nobody should want to talk about this at all. It should just be like blasphemy to even speak about this. Like, honestly, what are we doing here? Like, why? And now they're speaking about it, so I'm going to speak about it. This is on our Toronto news. Okay, this is Toronto Main News by Alex Arenciech. LGBTQ2S plus issues. White women are the bane of my fucking existence. White liberal women are the bane of my fucking existence. Stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. Toronto sex store receives letters from U.S. Department of War. Not one, but two letters were sent from the Pentagon to a Toronto-based sex store found inside the boxes of returned adult items that somehow made their way to U.S. Naval Base in Bahrain. Bon Jibon Ray Bennett recalled amusedly. We didn't even know the project was going to Bahrain until it came to us months later. It just kind of unraveled this whole hilarious moment. I wish they would come and arrest you. Online sexual wellness store shipped worldwide. Online sexual wellness store. That's what they're trying to frame it as now. It's fucked up. Frequently ships to military bases. Bennett said she suspects the packages were likely forwarded to someone stationed in Bahrain. They do not ship there directly. So yeah, that's what I would figure. Are not allowed into the Kingdom of Bahrain. Yeah, so that's funny. Got a huge kick of it. I mean, we don't judge. We just want everyone to order whatever they want. We want everyone to feel confident and start shopping for whatever they want. But there's just a juxtaposition of a military person in a foreign country ordering butt plugs and having no understanding that those items are illegal in the country they're in. This is not true. Not at all what happened, you absolute weasels. I don't know why they're sending me this very cross that are saying stop sending items that could cause bodily harm to this country, Bennett said. This sounds like a you problem. The call was coming from inside the house. Kind of snobby, just a white girl, little. I know it's probably her, or maybe both of them. It's like, what the fuck? Fat, ugly. I'm sad if they didn't get their order. See? Good. I don't know. I thought that was weird. Don't send butt plugs to Bahrain. Anyway, you want to hear something less funny? First Nation suing Alberta over changes enabling separation petition. I'm going to sue you in your court that I'm not a part of. We actually do our own courts, but I'm going to sue you in your court on something that you guys are having a referendum on. It's about you guys, but actually I'm going to sue you for you doing it. For even talking about it. Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation. It's always the Cree Nations, isn't it? It's just they're just obsessed with suing. They're like the Jews of the First Nation world, aren't they? Crees. Suing the Alberta government over its action that it says allowed the Alberta Prosperity Project to start collecting signatures in support of a referendum on the province separating from Canada. Do you agree the province of Alberta should cease to be part of Canada and become an independent state? Was approved by a chief electoral officer for Christmas. It says the plans asked the Court of King's Bench of Alberta to issue an urgent interim injunction. Violates Treaty 8, an agreement between First Nations of the Government of Canada, which predates the creation of the province of Alberta. We don't give a fuck. We don't care anymore. Too long, this very small group of people has sued and projected a bigger power and social power, and you know what? In a society that they don't even want to be a part of. They don't want to be part of our society. That they want to control what our society is allowed to do. Fuck off. Rip up the Treaty 8. Rip it all up. This is contrary to law. Alberta secession cannot happen without First Nation consent. See, they always say you cannot do things without First Nation consent. Why? You and what army? Who are you to tell us what to do? What the fuck? Who are you? Change of party, treaty number 8, consent, not consultation, is required before the question of secession is delegated from a party to treat the individuals who have come to inhabit Alberta. Brother, you're lucky we even allow you here. Okay? You're lucky you're even still here. Making accommodations for a small group of people. Isn't that just the irony? Oh, Sunshine is his name. Sunshine. Chief Sunshine. To us, it seems like the province is making accommodations for a small group of people. people have this pipe dream where it's going to be so much better, more freedom, less taxes. You said, I don't agree. Well, fuck you. Who cares if you don't agree? Then say you don't agree. We're not going to listen to you anyway. Who cares? Could stay in Canada. Yeah, see? Yeah, they can keep their status quo. It would be the same. He said, yeah, they can also choose to negotiate a better deal. Like, why would you not do that? Also, this would be the play. This would be the play. If I was a First Nation chief, I would say, look, the white man is going to do this with or without us. They are. There's too many of them here. Like, it just, you're not going to, what are you going to do? Fight Canadians? You know, we all know how that would turn out. So what we should do, if I was a First Nation chief, I would say we need to negotiate, because they're going to be very happy. They're going to be willing to give a little to get a little referendum. Give a little, get a little referendum. And so I think I would try to take as much as I could. I would try land, oil companies, just inundate First Nation with a ton of power and money, capital. That's what I would do. Oh, it's always them, isn't it? Always them. Oh yeah, this is a little misleading. 2023. All right. I did want to show you the CBC propaganda, and then we'll call it. Recording, good.
8 hours after the U.S. captured Nicolas Maduro.
All right. Listen to how the CBC frames this argument, and then listen to how they brought in the wrong guy. They brought in the wrong guy to interview. And about halfway through, this bald fraud of a reporter realizes this, and he's like trying to like coax him into giving any sort of negative answer. And the guy just keeps shutting him down and shutting him down and shutting him down. It's hilarious. Let's begin.
Well, less than 48 hours after the U.S. captured Nicolas Maduro, President Donald Trump made similar threats against the leader of Colombia.
Look at him. He looks so serious. Look at it. Look at his big egghead. Brother, could your glasses, can you get a little bit wider glasses? I don't know why it looks like it just hurts. Like, does this not hurt? Look at that. It is bending in his noggin.
He's not going to be doing it very
So there will
well.
be an operation by the U.S. and
It sounds good to me. Yeah. You know why? Because they kill a lot of people.
They do kill a lot of people.
I'm joined now by Francisco Santos Calderon, former vice president of Colombia. Sir,
Oh, Colombia. I thought it was a former vice president of, somewhere else. Okay.
It's good to see you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.
How seriously do you take Donald Trump's comments there, perceived as threats against your country?
Not as an immediate threat, because I think he has
I'm sure the reporter's like, fuck. Say it. Say you're scared.
other problem that
Say Donald Trump is a bad man. Say it.
he's looking into. But I think he has reason. He has one thing that in which he's right. The drug traffickers have had the best success in this government or in this administration, Petro's administration, than ever before. Hectares of coca went from 200,000 to 300,000. Exports of coca
300,000 hectares? Holy shit.
went from 1,600 metric tons to more than 2,600 metric tons.
Wow.
The control of territory has increased dramatically by those organized crimes, including ELN, FARC, Cartel del Golfo, etc. They have become a bigger and bigger and bigger threat. And now he wants, in his peace process, the paz total, as he calls it, to give more than 100 municipalities to the drug traffickers that, by the way, he took them out of jail and sent them to his meeting that he was having,
Right.
which you say, what the hell's happening here? So
Yeah, well, that sounds like he's basically in bed with the cartels, huh? That's what it sounds
So
like.
he's at least in cahoots with them, and I
Yeah.
think he's gonna have to pay for it afterwards, especially when they look at what all the information that is gonna come out of Venezuela that works like that with all of the drug traffickers of the
Yes, I
region.
see the
But is that
cartels.
an
Yes.
issue for the President of the United States to settle, or is that an issue for the people of Colombia to settle? Because as President Petro responded today saying, if you detain a president whom much of my people want and respect, you will unleash the people's jaguar. What do you make of that response?
Look at him. Look at him. He says, "Yeah, well, but do you think that Donald Trump is right doing this? Do you think that maybe the drug cartel should determine for themselves? The drug lord prime minister should say for himself. Now listen to what he says about being a jaguar.
That he loves to talk about uses those metaphors, but I think President Petro has very little weight in the region, has very little weight even in Colombia, even though he's the president, and he protects himself with
President.
with that type of rhetoric. The reality is that the drug traffickers in Colombia are having the best 4 years of their life and are becoming a big threat, which I think in that sense President Trump is right.
Oh, oh, they don't like that on CBC. They did not like that. They said, shut his mic off.
Drug trafficking is the biggest threat to democracy and to liberty in the region, from Mexico to the Patagonia.
Yes.
When you look at all these criminal organizations, how much they're moving into political control. Mexico, look at Mexico. Half of Mexico is
He says,
it's in the hands of drug traffickers. It's very near being a narco state. They control governors, mayors.
Yep.
They control critical industries.
Of course they do.
Like
That's
the
what I would do
lemon
if I was them.
industry, tomato industry,
Avocado
industry. And what they're learning there, and they're moving, especially the Mexican drug cartels, all over Latin America. And that type of working through the political system, the traditional economic system, is something that they're learning and they're living all over. So for sure, I think today, that's the biggest threat that we have to democracy, and we need to really fight it with different instruments than we have fought them before, because we haven't been successful.
Well, in Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez was sworn in as the acting president, the interim leader of Venezuela, but she reiterated her support for Nicolas Maduro. President Trump said this make things better for Venezuelans, but if it's still the same regime with different management, how much do you think that fundamentally changes things there?
Yeah, President Trump says this is going to be better, but he's keeping the same people. So, do you think actually he's a bad man? Please say Donald Trump is bad. Please say he's doing it wrong. Please, please, please.
Look, the difference between Nicolás Maduro and Delcy Rodriguez is like the difference between Pablo Escobar and Miguel Rodriguez Orejuela, the two biggest drug traffickers of Colombia in the 80s. They're very similar. But there's a big difference, and I think in that sense, they took a decision that has certain logic to it. When the U.S. went into, with Obama, into Libya, they took out Gaddafi, and look at what happened.
Yeah,
When
Omar
President
Gaddafi.
Bush went into Iraq, they destroyed the Ba'ath Party, and they destroyed the military, and look at what happened. Here they're saying, okay, you guys are going to help us administrate this reconstruction of a state that they destroyed, and then you will probably be able to get out of here and live a life with all the richness that they have been able to get. If you don't do that, you're going to pay a high price. So, yeah, it's not the ideal situation. It's very pragmatic, but we have.
It's also the difference. The difference is Venezuela is a Christian, democratic country up until recently. It's not as if they don't know how to. This is not Afghanistan, okay? It's a bit different.
Have to be very.
Ellie, you little weasel.
Gaddafi, and look at what happened. When President Bush went into Iraq, they destroyed the Ba'ath Party, and they destroyed the military, and look at what happened. Here they're saying, okay, you guys are going to help us administrate this reconstruction of a state that they destroyed.
What is he wearing?
And then you will probably be able to get out of here and live a life with all the richness that they have been able to get. If you don't do that, you're going to pay a high price. So, yeah, it's not the ideal situation. It's very pragmatic, but we have to be very much, looking at step by step. Yes, today, 60 persons were detained in Valencia because they had in their cellular phones the pictures of Maduro in jail. 6 journalists
arrested them.
near the
Unreal.
Miraflores Palace were arrested. So if it's really going to change, it really has to change. And the first thing is we need all the political prisoners out. We need an amnesty where all of the BS charges poured against everybody are cleared and they can come back.
Political
And
prisoners,
especially,
yes.
we need Maria Corina
yes.
back in Venezuela so that she can start working
Except the Nobel Prize
politics
winner.
and making sure that this transition is real towards a democracy and not towards a authoritarian country with parts of democracy around it.
Yeah, I mean, that remains to be seen, like whether it can go there. And certainly the president of the United States at least talked more about oil reserves than he did about, transitioning the institutions of Venezuela. But he's also made comments about Colombia, the president has, about Greenland, about Cuba. I mean, just as a final point, I mean, how worried are you
Wait.
about a destabilizing effect from this? Like where this could go? I just wonder what you're watching for next.
Hey, are you worried? Please say that there could be something bad in the future. I know you're saying it's good now, but where could this go? Now give me your worst case scenario.
In terms of whether the president is true to his word and the document that they put out in November about controlling the hemisphere, what might happen next and what it could mean to your country and others around it.
Look, I think that political strategy is saying, hey, Europe, you got to take care of your Africa and your continent and Australia, Japan, Korea. You're gonna have to take. We're gonna help you, but I'm going to be. My emphasis is going to be in Latin America with drug trafficking as the biggest threat. I think we have to understand that. I think the one who's going to be in charge of Venezuela is going to be Marco Rubio. He has that very, very clear.
Yes, Rubio wants to do it.
I've been listening to him, and he's been very rational. He's saying, we couldn't get if we brought back Maria Corina and El Mundo, they don't have the power. They don't have the structure that could survive in such a corrupt narco state that they have been able to build. So they're being practical, and believe me, Venezuela has been a huge dose of instability for the whole region. They've put money in Brazil's elections, in Argentina elections, in Colombian elections, so any change to the Venezuelan status quo and moves it in the right direction of institutionality, security, it's a good decision. How is it going to play out? I think the Venezuelans are going to have to be on top of it, and they're going to have to do it in the streets too.
Right.
And I think all of us in Latin America that believe in liberty and believe in freedom and believe in democracy, we're going to have to be very much pushing hard for those things that I'm telling you before: freedom of political prisoners, amnesty, a new judicial system, a new electoral agency, things like that that can.
It sounds like U.S. went in there and they cut off the head of the snake, but it seems like there's still a hell of a lot of work to do for actual Venezuelans, isn't there? Ellie, you little shit.
Venezuelans are going to have to be on top of it, and they're going to have to do it in the streets too.
Right.
And I think are going to have to be for freedom of political prisoners, amnesty, a new judicial system, a new electoral agency, things like that can lead us to a real election in which everybody agrees that whomever wins it really becomes the president. So that's the optimistic. The pessimistic, I don't even want to start
No. He says, oh, damn it. That's what I wanted from you. I didn't want the optimistic.
Thinking about it.
All right. Well, thank you for your optimistic take. Maybe we'll get the pessimistic one at another time, depending.
Just desperate for it.
Francisco Santos Calderon, former vice president of Colombia. It was good to meet you, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
All right. This is a shorter one.
The 15 members of the United Nations Security Council wrapped up an emergency session just minutes ago. The meeting was called
Who cares? Who cares?
To discuss the U.S. capture of Nicholas Maduro. The
Oh yeah, let's discuss it. Big bad UN.
talks at the UN headquarters happening just a short
I don't know if they know this, but UN is basically just US will just veto anything. So there's no reason.
distance away from where the ousted Venezuelan leader was appearing in court. And the CBC's Mark Carcassol has closely been following the meeting. And
Mark
joins us now.
Carcassol.
So Mark, how are various member states reacting today?
Well, Andrew, this was a briefing just to sort of discuss how they feel about it. There was no actual decision here made, but for
Imagine just having a briefing to talk about how you feel about things as the UN. What a useless, just corrupt organization. What the hell?
the most part, members of the Security Council are condemning the U.S.'s actions this weekend. We'll
See, they haven't figured, but most of them are condemning.
start off with the most obvious one.
And his spouse.
Hey.
With violation of international norms
Get
and
outta here.
laws. They are asking for the same thing to happen. He says they're a threat to every, obviously, that their president was obvious one, Venezuela, are condemning the U.S.'s actions this weekend. We'll start off with the most obvious one, Venezuela, who says, when you listen to the language, that their president was kidnapped. Very different wording than how the U.S. would put it, obviously. They call this a flagrant violation of international law.
Trump said kidnapping was fine.
Human rights law, the UN Charter, Geneva Conventions, and personal immunity of heads of state. They say that these actions are a threat to every state on the Security Council.
Somalia. Isn't this guy is Somalia? Isn't he's wrapped up in daycare fraud?
Setting a dangerous precedent, calling this colonialism and neo-colonialism.
It's just every single one of them, isn't it? They all are.
China says the U.S. has disregarded very grave concerns of the international community, wantonly trampled on Venezuela's sovereignty.
Who cares?
Calling for the U.S. to keep Maduro and his wife safe and release them immediately. He says, their representative says the U.S. is acting as the world police and the world's judge, bullying and using coercive practices. And then Russia also condemned the
Russia and China condemned it. Ooh, big surprise.
military action as a violation of international norms and laws. They are asking for the same thing to happen with the president, with the now, I guess, deposed president of Venezuela. Have a listen to their ambassador, Vasily Nebenzia.
We call upon, corrects the speaker, the U.S. leadership to immediately release the legitimately elected president of an independent state and his spouse.
Are we really going to listen to Russia about what is international law and what's not and what should be allowed? Like, just the hypocrisy is just ridiculous.
Any problems existing or conflict between the United States and Venezuela need to be resolved through dialogue.
Nebenzia tells the Security Council that failure to act on this represents a sign of cowardice and a lack of principle. Now, in Willie's report just earlier, we heard about some of the other countries that President Trump had talked about on Air Force One. Many of them were there, too. Mexico, Colombia did not comment on President Trump's words on Air Force One, but did also condemn the actions of the U.S. military on Saturday in Venezuela.
And the U.S. representative to the United Nations is at this meeting. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Mike Waltz, obviously speaking in a very different tone, saying that what the United States did in capturing Maduro keeps the Western Hemisphere safe. He talks about Maduro's history as a member and head of a cartel working with other cartel members. He says that Maduro was working with terrorist groups, including Hezbollah, to destabilize multiple regions across the world, let alone working in the drug trade. He says that UN reports themselves have called out the legitimacy of his election and the legitimacy of his presidency, and also cited human rights concerns with what Maduro's regime has done. He says that he and his wife are narco-terrorists and that this was an act of law enforcement.
Maduro is not just an indicted drug trafficker. He was an illegitimate so-called president. He was not a head of state. For years, Maduro and his cronies have manipulated Venezuela's electoral system to maintain their illegitimate grip on power.
While none of the states at the Security Council meeting today or the guest members who spoke there directly spoke in favor of the U.S.'s actions, some of them did seem to support them by a lack of words. In essence, the representative from the UK gave a very short speech in which he reaffirmed the UK's commitment to international law, but also reaffirmed that the UK does not recognize Maduro as president of Venezuela and says that his election was fraudulent. The representative from France as well, affirming that they believe in international law, but also talked about how Maduro repressed dissenting voices in Venezuela and had numerous human rights violations, and affirming that France also does not recognize him as the leader of Venezuela.
All right, Mark, thank you. The CBC's Mark Carcassol.
Oh my God. State of this country. The state, the absolute state of this country. But I'm tired. Tired of it all. It's also tiring. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. Adios. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey, at least the stream ran this time. At least it worked. I think I figured it out with the internet thing. So anyway, catch you in the